Hallo und herzlich willkommen zum Auf die Fresse WXW Review Podcast in English. I'm Ian Hamilton, as always, joined by Mike Kilby. And Mike, after Back to the Roots, are we back?
I think we might well be. Very much back. The fever is taken over, and I think we're on the road. We're on the road to 16 carat as we always are. But man, they put it into top gear finally. Yeah, we're racing now.
Like Saturday night, following Strigger stuff on Twitter throughout the show, I've never seen that kind of reaction. Well, not since COVID, it feels like, for a non-festival weekend.
Yeah,
Whereas everything was clicking.
Sorry, go.
I mean, actually, stuff we can do with news bits. We may as well go straight into the show because this one was, how to put it. So they did the near live streaming of it. So it was being streamed live because YouTube gave away the whole streamed X hours ago thing. I'm guessing that's like a private stream to make sure that stuff didn't screw up. They weren't streaming, say, the wrong camera or something like that or what have you. But it wasn't made available for public. They did have the Fight Forever match went up. I think it's about an hour after the show finished, and then obviously the full show as well. I don't know if this is can we do a live stream? Oh, great, we can, and it didn't crap the bed. Well, do we do this because we did tease this with, was it Shock at the Top last year? They did live stream, and obviously the anniversary show in 2022 is live streamed. So there's definitely moves being made in terms of going live. And I mean, you had, 530 they said at the Turbine Hall. Looking at the crowds, it was up from the 500 they had in 2023. If you want to compare to 2021, it was 290, but we're still knee deep in COVID restrictions, so that's a bit unfair. Same ballpark for 2020, and way off on 2019, but 530 was a loud crowd all night, and I don't think that was the sound mixing thing. But yeah, I mean, this to me was a show from all levels. Every single stage there was a lot of variety. Everything clicked. There wasn't anything that really, I don't want to say shot for bed. I mean, it was maybe one match that was a bit weird, which I'm sure we'll get to. But I mean, your initial thoughts, Mike?
Yeah, I thought it was a very, very easy watch. Again, I think it was. I thought Anniversary was a very easy watch as well, and possibly even an easier watch. But what I liked about this show is that the quality was, everything was a step up on Anniversary. Yeah. I think Anniversary was a very nice thing to watch, but the quality was still, the floor was still a lot lower. I think pretty much everything on this show was like above the 3 level, and I don't think that's like an unreasonable thing. And it was genuinely all very good. There was some very interesting sort of segments, very interesting sort of developments, the storylines, things that were set up for the future, and it felt like an old WXW show. It felt like it grabbed me in the way that old show would. Shows from 2017, 2018 did.
I think as well.
And sorry, go on.
Yeah, so what we used to say was everyone on the show had a purpose. We weren't just in to make up the numbers. You look at we can go through this card. Everyone on this card, for having a feud, they weren't there to make up the numbers.
Effectively, everybody was there for a reason.
Yeah. Start pre-show the Fight Forever match. Maggot beating Alex Duke just over 6 minutes. So this was, I guess, technically Maggot's first match since was it Broken Rules, the Frankfurt show, where he didn't came short for the title because obviously the Anniversary, the whole Evaniel thing happened and no match didn't happen. But I guess the juice and miss was in the post match. So Rob and Christopher Forver came out, offered Maggot a spot in High Performer Limited. They didn't have English English subtitles to this, but the bit that my Google Translate came out was something along the lines of, I'd rather, don't spend a minute with you, bastard, or something like that. So Maggot turns on High Performer Limited, but if you watched the Shotgun vlog last month, that offer was made, or at least Forberg was sniffing around Baby Allison, not like that. She came out, accepted the offer, saying she was more than just a sidekick. So now, Baby Allison, part of High Performer Limited.
Yes, official signing. There was the signing graphic went up on the High Performer Instagram post page. Yeah, so it's an interesting thing. I think there's a lot of good angles you could go with this. There's one that I sort of have theorized, which we can maybe get onto later, but I think yeah, it's an interesting thing. So well, the thing I suggested was I think for work does he buy the women's title? It doesn't exist anymore. Could he just buy it and give it to Allison,
I
like
mean, we did have a who of
as a
having the
signing
VSL
bonus?
wrestling shotgun belt for a while.
Yeah, so it's like that could be a thing maybe.
I mean, the other thing that we'll see, because we're recording this before the shotgun vlog comes out, so we don't know what's being announced for the Road to Carat show in Bielefeld. But one of the things that Forward was offering Maggot was a spot in the Carat qualifier, which was that Joseph Hennig Jr. actually got a spot in Carat for signing, which I hate to see what the next person signing is going to get as a signing bonus because quality's quickly going downhill. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see, does that get, pushed over to Baby Allison? I don't know where we go from there, but yeah, interesting to see where this will go. Obviously, without the women's title, there's a lot of conjecture about what the women's division is going to be. No guess, we're still gonna find out. I mean, there were some moves on this show, which we'll get into, but main show, opening match, had Rotten Flot up against more High Performer Limited, Anil Marek and Tristan Archer. Obviously, decent one. Some, I would say, some. What was that Canadian commentator's whole thing? Malfunction with Junction, where Rotten Flot were not on the same page early on. We got it back together, but yeah, it was a pretty big win for Marek and Archer. Bear in mind, High Performer Limited haven't really been, getting much in the way of statement wins, but yeah, big win for them, and it's a decent enough opening match. I mean, crowd were hot as hell for it, which is always a good sign.
Yeah, surprising. Yeah, good reaction for Rotten Flot, especially considering they've not really set the world light. I think in the not maybe out of their thing, but they've not really been booked consistently. I thought, yeah, it was a good reaction for them. High Performer Limited, I think they've Marek sort of seems to be flourishing in this. Sort of, it feels a little bit less high pressure being as part of this stable, and I think he's getting a bit more comfortable with it. Archer, I think he's kind of consistently quite solid anyway. So yeah, it's quite a good. I thought it was a decent opener for this show.
Moving on, we had the debut of Pro Wrestling known as Yoshi. North Butcher that taking on Aaliyah Bloom. This one, like, I only went 3 1/4. This blew me away. Like, I've seen a little bit of Yoichi, but not so much on this excursion run. So formerly Ishiki Inamura, he's over on excursion doing sort of one progress match a month and a few bits for the GWF. This one, it's brought out a whole different side in Bloom that I haven't seen in terms of. And when Yotsuji did Rev Pro, that was that big blow up match for first weekend with Kyle Fletcher, where it was kind of a bit like kid gloves. Then as soon as you realized, oh, I can hit as well, and it just absolutely blew everyone away. Kind of same ballpark here. Now I don't know if Yoichi's going to be around long term. I mean, all these excursions, we don't know whether it's going to be for months or a year, however long. I mean, I think so. I was listening to Gentleman's Wrestling podcast with Jesse Collins and Alan Farrell a couple of weeks back,
Yeah,
and
so,
they mentioned about he's 31. Like, he's 31. He's been wrestling since 2018,
and he's going on excursion now.
and he's on excursion now. Like, and he's been on excursion since September.
In progress.
In progress, yeah. Like, I'm looking at this cage match now: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 progress matches, 2 GWF, and 1 for the beautifully named Squasher Jobber in Italy.
Yeah,
It's like, and I know
not the
people
best
complain. People complain about Show's Room known Rev Pro. He was getting, at least Rev Pro run way more than once a month. But yeah, I mean, so like, he's been here for a new 3 or 4 months. Finally branching outside of Camden at least. But yeah, absolutely blew me away. And like, I don't know whether being part of Carat itself is a bit much, But no, he's
He'd be a
absolutely
good person to have around this weekend.
yeah, like we'll touch
Um,
on later, Mochizuki Junior.
yeah, yeah,
But like in terms of a great first impression, you couldn't get no. Okay, you can say, well, beat former Shotgun champion. Well, yeah, that's one thing, but just for manner of performance, and Bloom had to raise this game as well, so it wasn't
yeah,
like
yeah,
a rollover.
yeah.
But
He
this was
couldn't, he couldn't,
absolutely fantastic.
he couldn't phone it in at all. Yeah, very similar, I think, in a way to the Suji Guns match from last year.
And that
Um,
was back to roots last year as well, wasn't
it
it?
was, yeah. Um, I think, well, I think the open housing crowd's more subs, sub, is more maybe generous to this sort of wrestler. I don't know if this would go over particularly well in Frankfurt or one of maybe like one of the other cities, but yeah, I thought Yoichi did quite well sort of on that crowd. Um, but yeah, he'd be an interesting person to have around. I don't know, as I say, we don't know how long he's sticking around. If he does any tournaments this year, I suspect it'd probably be strong style rather than Carat, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, we can see. I mean, we know the names for Ambition or what we think for names, but yeah, pretty good match and say hunched this one down. Next one up, and I've just got one word for this, just weirdness. So, Stephanie May's Fast Time Mudo beat Jane Neo and Bobby Guns. I watched this in English. I watched this in German. I
Not
now I've
entirely
been
sure what's going on.
yeah, now I've been told it's a heat for moment kind of thing. So, but I mean, so basically what happened pretty early in the match, Mudo came in, kicked Gun square in the face. Bobby rolled down to the outside. I think it was Strigger said so. Nick Schreier came out to check on him. But if you were looking for it, you would have seen Nick, but wasn't acknowledged on commentary. And Guns was down on the floor, say
I
good
didn't
5
realise that
minutes.
was Nick. I thought that was yeah, I didn't realise that was Nick who was doing that.
Again, it might be the
Yeah,
confirmation bias
yeah,
kind of, but yeah, Strigger was there live, so I
yeah.
trust
I
his
would trust.
eyesight
Yeah,
a
I
bit of
trust that.
mine.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, so it was basically Jane New in a handicap match for I would say almost too long. I mean, bear in
yeah,
mind, she's a Axeman trainee. I think so. I would not say rookie, but certainly hasn't got that much under her belt. Held her own, bearing in mind, this is potentially could have fallen apart. Um, came towards the end, Guns came back in, double legged, and started wailing away
yeah,
in Mudo. Tass pretty much had to separate and smother the two of them, and basically said, "Right, you've tagged out. I don't care. You haven't. I'm saying you've tagged out." Then afterwards they addressed it in the Dan Malman interview. So I don't want to say, oh, this was a works of a shoot. It just came across weird and like if this is something to build up towards, say, the Ambition super fight, you got me.
yeah, yeah. Well, and I don't know how active you are on Instagram, but Guns was kind of a bit pissed off on Instagram. On he sort of said that somebody had said something that was like three professional fighters and one wrestler, uh, and like that got a kind of a bit of a crap reaction from him. Um,
Well,
yeah, I don't know. It was I can't remember the exact quote because I translated it, but I've forgotten what it said. That would have been helpful if I had that. But yeah, Guns was sort of talking about that specific incident during on Instagram the other day. So I don't know whether that is something that, if it is a worked thing, then fair enough. If it was a bit of it was very odd though because it wasn't really acknowledged.
yeah, and again, I don't know if it's the kind of
Yeah,
thing where it's meant to
yeah,
be like that. Um, yeah, I mean, like I say, it certainly got us talking about it. If that's the way it was planned to be.
yeah,
Um, and again, trial by fire for Jane Newman. This is what her second main roster show.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I mean, in terms of the match, I thought Maze looked pretty good. Her first, reunification with Mudo, they looked pretty decent. They seem to be going towards the tag titles. The opening had Marek and Darter Bay kind of hinting that way. So yeah, it looks like another multi-way tag match maybe for Coward Weekend, or maybe do a gauntlet. How they go through that road. What have you thought of Jane Neo first couple of matches he's had? Because, like I say, Axeman trainee, she has been, I say, pushing around the German scene for a fair little while. As I'm trying to find, there was no cage match profile. But
Yeah,
yeah,
quite impressive. I thought she'd been quite impressive. She's got some legitimate fighting experience, hasn't she? Yeah, I thought she's been quite good. I think there's it. It's heartening to know that the women aren't just being forgotten, even though there isn't a women's title. I think it's well, it's annoying to kind of have to consistently bring up this title that doesn't exist anymore, but it is a bit of an elephant in the room, isn't it?
yeah.
But it is at least heartening to know that new women are joining the company. They're working in the company. They're actively being involved in storylines. They're passing the Bechdel test, where it's like they have storylines of their own, and it not necessarily a just a phony crap storyline which we've kind of seen 100 times over.
Yeah.
And we were seeing towards the end of pre-COVID era WXW. Um, it's quite it's quite good stuff. And I think Jane Nero, yeah, she's a good example of someone with a lot of upside. I think there's a lot of she's obviously still very. I feel there's a lot of work to go there, but yeah, she is quite. She's a good prospect, I think, at least. And if she can kind of keep it going and get the consistent booking, I think she will be a real asset for them.
I think it's kind of what I was saying, when there were rumblings of getting rid of a division, is there's a lot of talent at that level who are just bubbling up. And the last thing you want to do is, hey, here's the hot new talent, put the title on, and then you end up in this perpetual cycle of, well, they're new, but they've had a run of the title, now what? And yep, it absolutely sucks that they've had to kill the division or kill the championship to rebuild. But what else do you do? I mean, they had the year where it was on pretty much exclusively foreign talent. No, at least now they say, look, there's no title, so take that pressure off. We're not having to book towards that. And then who knows? Maybe you do end up with forward buying the belt back, or they reintroduce when they do quote restock the division. Stuff like this isn't doing any harm. The fact that
Yeah,
you're getting the
exactly.
reps and you're not getting the whole thing of, oh, we've had a few good matches. It would be good for a title shot now. Well, there's no title to have a shot. And if you want to give us 6 months and give Jane Nero a match with rotation with a shotgun belt, if he's still champion there, that would work. Whereas, that's pretty much what they play. It's like they can go for women can go for the belts in WXW. It's not oh, you're there just to make the numbers like it was back in the day when you was
Mm.
Melanie Gray and the traveling challenger of the month. Like I've been going for the 2015 shows. Kaylee Ray, Candice LeRae, Shanna. It's like just Nixon Newell, whoever's traveling, passing through. Which
Yeah.
fine, it got reps, but in terms of there's nobody else building up. Or at least now, you can get that stage where okay, if it is Jane Nero, you can bring others in, but you are building up,
Who
and it's
was the
not
one
that
who
pressure.
came into? Was it Tank? The one who came into
Tank,
Hangzhou?
yes, from
Yeah.
yeah. So she's not been
Uh,
back, but again, she's pretty much
Julia,
similar.
very good.
Julia
Um,
Vo, so Directly now posted the Valkyrie Cup, and if I pronounced that
yeah.
wrong, I probably have. She was scheduled to be on that, but had to pull out of injury, and I haven't seen her name around
Well,
the results
she's
since.
still
But
around because
oh, she's not retired, but
she's training with rotation all the
the
time.
twins.
She's basically rotation's protege, I think, at this point, and they're tag team partners, so they're doing all right. She's still around, and I don't know if she is still properly injured. I don't know, but
But again, it's the whole thing of it's the experience. Everyone they're looking at that level is fairly pretty much the same kind of experience level. Not saying they're all they're all rookies, that kind of thing. But you are looking very much at it's all people who are a year to maybe 3 years in. Like I'm
yeah,
just looking now.
you
So Julia, I'm not going to pronounce that surname because I know it's not consistently used, shall we say? But yeah, debuted February 2022, so nearly coming to start the third year. Mostly pro wrestling in Holland, and then yeah, it's so she has wrestled since that Valkyrie Cup. Ironically, 2 weeks ago, with God, PPW, it's a Sheffield Training Schools. It Pinnacle Pro Wrestling. Promotion that Pinnacle Pro in Sheffield went to Barcelona with Lucha Libre Barcelona, did like a joint show, I guess, for a better word. And she was in there with Nico Narcisa, who I've heard a few times, an Italian lad. He's done he's done some WW stuff. I swear he's done LDN. Like, name you see potting around Uber Fairmount. Against Jack Maxwell and Eve Bateman from the PPW side. So yeah, she's back up and running. So yeah, who knows? Maybe that's the name you start, popping up. And again, we said back in last year, you do get some who only pop along for festival weekends. Michelle Green for the most part, and Julia. It was a lot more shows. I mean, wouldn't surprise me if we get the twins at Inner Circle like we did last year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and as I say, I think there's lots of sort of good people at a sort of that sort of level. As I say, I think we're in my head there is still the spectre of Orshi. I don't know what she's doing. There is. I mean, if she decided to come back, then I think she would immediately slot into the sort of slot in a level above all of them. That's the problem. But it's one of these things. I can see that there's a lot sort of bubbling, and it just needs that extra sort of push for it to be of any value. Really, do you know what I mean?
Well, again, early days, but it's about half 8 night. Have you had your dinner yet, mate? Because I think the two of us have got to eat our words for this next match. Axel Tish and Sebastian Hackle. And I'll be fair. I still don't understand who this is for, but I was expecting this to be, I won't say a trainer, but nowhere near as good as it was. No, the FSM 50 came out the what last week. Axman, did pretty high up. I don't want to say this is a carry job, but Hackle more than carried his share of the bargain. But this for me was pretty much a joint match for night, and this absolutely took me by surprise.
Yeah, I think if you went 3.5 on this match, let's say we were working on the idea you'd go 3.5 on this match. 3 stars out of that would be Axeman, and Hackle's got the half. But I think it's Hackle's best performance by far, by a long way. It showed how quality Tisha is and the ability he has to sort of lead a match, especially with, as I say, somebody who's probably not strong enough to do that himself. But yeah, I thought this was very, very good. It was if this is the start of the Tisha redemption year, I think, like, in my opinion, I like Tisha can do face on the hill, but I feel like really at the moment there's more value in him being a hill more value in him being a face than there is in him being a heel in WXW, because the traveling fans think he's brilliant and respect him. The domestic fans think he's brilliant and respect him. There's no need for him to do heely stuff, because he doesn't need it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think this kind of thing. It's not he'd get reactions anyway.
Yeah.
And again, he was heel at Carat last year because he wanted the belt by any means necessary, and it's been that trying to put himself off a tailspin since Carat last year, and obviously he's not matured this year unless he gets the Bielefeld spot and what have you. But yeah, for me, this is the kind of thing where he had that phone on the side, post match, he put over Hackle, got the handshake. And I would say if this is the start of Hackle, of continuation of Hackle being semi-regular into WXW, I wouldn't mind. I mean, absolutely not put him like
He
consistent
needs
high
to be
profile
with
spots, but you need to be like have someone. It's almost like a mouthpiece. I'm not saying put him heel with Forwerk, but you can't have him be the white meat babyface, to borrow a phrase.
I feel like if he maybe stays, he can't. I feel like this is effectively as far as you can go with him, though. Really, unless you whack the shotgun belt on him or something like that, like which I really don't want. He has to. The problem is he's not good enough to work against people who aren't experienced enough. If that makes sense. I don't. I wouldn't trust him working with an Anil Marek, or well, he did. He did have a match with Anil Marek, didn't he? I wouldn't trust him with him. I probably wouldn't trust him with someone like Danny Frey, or he needs to be with
Like an experienced hand to
an
guide
experienced
through,
hand,
and
like a Bobby Guns, maybe someone like that. But like, is there value in Hackle working with people like that? But I don't know. I there's still a gap between my understanding of Hackle and probably the average German fan, because for I don't understand it. I don't know if is Hackle bringing 25 people. Is he selling 20 to 50 tickets that wouldn't be buying it if he wasn't on the show? Do you know what I mean?
yeah, and things like we talked about in the past.
And the people that
I don't think, obviously he's WWE commentator in Germany. I don't. No, I may be wrong. I don't think he's doing like a big thing every Raw, for instance. Hey, I'm wrestling WXW on da da da.
no,
But I don't think that's maybe once twice
but
no. But
I
even then,
wonder if maybe on social media, like him promoting that because his social media has him in WXW, obviously,
yeah,
and somebody who's following the people that would be going to WXW because of Hackman aren't out. The friends we've made over the years, they are not Hackman like followers, in the sense of they're not people who would be like, "Oh, Hackman's on that show, I'm going to that." Well, I don't think so anyway. So, as I say, I don't have any sort of frame of reference as to whether he is selling tickets for anybody. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, and again, we've seen through the years. I don't say quote unquote celebrity, because again, a lot of these aren't forced. And when we had, I know this was completely different realm and a lot more controversial, Nick Hine, when he was came, that at
Yeah,
least got some eyeballs. I
and
mean,
like Torsten Legat as well.
mhm.
When he was around, yeah, there's it's I don't know who that is. It must. I think Hackle is probably the most successful of all of these endeavors, but I still don't know who it's for.
Yeah, but we'll see where he goes. I mean, to me that post match thing didn't feel like a write out or anything like that. But again, it's got to fit in with his WWE stuff and obviously WXW's calendar. We'll see where his heads. But moving on, we had the shotgun title, rotation's first defense against Jordan Oliver. It was pretty good. I mean, I think the issue with this is Jordan Oliver is in Europe for a few months, so to a sense you could buy a title change.
Yeah,
But to me, it didn't feel like the crowd that was there in October that was eating up anything GCW related were as invested. Plus the
if
whole
this
thing
was
of
if this was the who's the lucha guy?
Gringo
Not
Local.
Gringo Loco. Yeah, if it was Gringo Loco, I think they probably would have been loving it. But
I do think for with rotation, he's in this weird spot because like he's been what not 10, 13 years. We've said he's been around WXW. This is his first WXW title. Are you really pulling the rug out from under him on night one? So I think that's the kind of thing where with him, and I'm not. This is absolutely not a slight on anyone involved. You're going to have this spell where people are going. It's not like the carriage clock or the gold watch, loyalty title ring kind of thing. But I do think you can have some people going, it's too soon for him to lose, and we can be a lot more steadfast in that because of who he is and how well loved he is. In all the years we've been going, I've yet to hear a single person be even close to a neutral word on him, let alone a bad word.
yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah.
it's that kind of thing where I don't want to say, oh, I could see this going yay down the other end of the scale and going for so long where people are begging for him to lose it. But obviously, I don't think this was the right time for him to even be close to lose. I mean, came not final 2 minutes. Jordan did have him in some trouble throughout. I think it was towards the end of the the acid bomb. He came close, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was a pretty good match. Again, I think the way back to Roots especially is laid out. They didn't do an interval until just for the main event, so we could set the cage up. So around about here, the crowd was maybe starting to flag. What they weren't flagging on the next match. So it was the 6-man tag, not in the cage, of Amboss, that's Robert Dreisker, Icarus, and Lawrence Roman, against Paige Tahani, Dennis Stolnik, and Hector Invictus. So this one only went about bang on 6 minutes between the bells. But this is one where you could say they were setting stuff up because obviously last year, Paige Tahani broke Dreisker's face in the Käfigschlacht, and they played the hell out of that here. Like the terse stares, and then the little bit of needle and then just completely blew up the end when Dreisker low blow to Honey. But yes, like for me, and obviously
The pin, when he broke up the pin by basically pushing on Dreisker's face, I thought that was class.
like that wasn't like the whole thing where they
Yeah.
know what they're doing, they know where they're going with this. And the other
Yeah.
thing we skipped over this earlier, they did the pre-tape interviews with Amboss with no Lawrence Run because quote stuck in traffic. And we'll get on. So obviously we bear that in mind. Roman, he's been, I don't say the run for it, but he was definitely the one with Dreisker was shouting at the most when Amboss had the trouble times last year.
Yeah.
So if they Dulnig demand for match B restarts the street fight, but Tahani was being carried for back. It was 3-on-2. Pretty much what you expected, some valiant fight back, but my God, I mean, you've seen this. That chair exploding from back body drop. Like,
yeah.
I joke at Ref Pro, or Andy Quilton doesn't get his chair deposit back. I like some of those chairs. They look old. Like the shrapnel of it was flying out of those. Like I think one landed in my back garden. I'm nowhere near Oberhausen.
Yeah, it was a dangerous. It was a shrapnel risk, wasn't it? If you was in thing, yeah, I thought the street fight section, obviously apart from the thing that happens very shortly, the street fight restart was good. It was a. I've always thought that Dreisker thrives in these sort of environments.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, yeah, it was a really really good sort of reset. As I say, like the chair just completely exploding was incredible, and sort of all the fighting on the stage. You mentioned about obviously the needling with Roman. Like Roman hits, I think it was Hector with the unified belt, and then Dreisker like grabs it, and he's like, no, you don't do.
This is mine. This isn't yours.
Yeah, so that was quite interesting, and then obviously something happened.
We have some important information from backstage. There is support coming for Hector and Dulnig, and it's Shikahiro Irie with what we call cognitive dissonance. Like he's out in his WXW shorts because I've seen him even in Sub-Zero weather over here. He's out in shorts and flip flops.
He
And a
runs hot
Winnie
all the
the
time.
Pooh t-shirt.
Yeah, he's always running hot.
Yeah, which it's all stories. If you're rooming with him and you feel the cold, well, should have brought an extra jersey to sleep in, my friend.
He lives by the German principle Luften. He has to have the air in the room at all times. He is more German than some of us. So
yeah. Well, I suppose the kind of thing, if you've been trapped in a hot room, you don't want to risk about repeating if you can help it. But so Irie came out, pretty much cleared house, beat Dreisker with the Beast Bomber Lariat, and yeah, post match, Robert Dreisker, I want you for the title. Auf die Fresse, thanks for plug, mate. And we've got our, I guess, unofficial Carat Night 2 main event now, at least for the title match. And bear in mind, was it October time after Tagfest? Irie was all despondent. Oh, Robert beat me. I don't deserve to be champion. I don't want my rematch. And here we are now. He's main event, title match in the biggest weekend of the year.
Yeah, I think that's a good. But it's a story that they'd sort of built up around Hagfest, didn't they? Because Irie kind of said like, I don't deserve to challenge because I can't beat him, and then he does beat him here, and it's like, here we go. yeah, I think it's been a quite a good story, and it's a match that it makes complete sense, but I hadn't considered it.
Yeah, so it was so it was Matt. So it was over from it was over for the weekend, and
Yeah,
he was speaking before, and he's like, "Well, do you think area is going to be over because Progress had announced them?" And in hindsight, I don't know if that was a spoiler or what was, but I didn't add it together. Like, oh, I don't think area is going to be part of the tournament because you'd have thought if he was, if he'd have been announced by now, he's not going to be entrant number 11, or he's certainly sure as hell not going to be doing the Bielefeld stuff. Well, there you go. He is part of the cup, but not the tournament. So yeah, the Carat field is still very light in terms of, I think, at least from the names so far, there's no past winners, and only Tahani as past Carat and Fennec Jr. as well, in terms
semi-final.
of in terms of people who've even wrestled him in tournament in the past. So completely fresh lineup. But yeah, Irie is going to be in Germany and I guess in Europe for a little while. So keep an eye out for him in the usual places. It's in progress this weekend. He's in Italy as well. I would expect him to maybe be at Rev Pro 229 at some point. If it
Yeah,
fits in. So yeah, so then main event, the annual Käfigschlacht, sounds like a jamboree, anything but. Blanc against Joseph Fennick Jr. And this one, match like 25 minutes, but it felt a lot longer because we did the brawl before the bell. So we put plunge in the
yeah,
ring, had tables, plenty, had chairs, had, Fennick was using his belt a lot during the match. And I know as Met's been hyping this up, one of the matches of the year so far. For me, I put this neck and neck with the Axeman Hackle match. I'll probably change my mind on the rewatch, but this was really good considering, the first
it had a lot
real
of
match.
it picked up a lot of flack, probably from myself included, in the lead up, because I think we've been maybe conditioned to expect the Käfigschlacht to be a multi-man, multi-person, should we say now? We've always we've kind of conditioned ourselves for it to be that. And I think, I was disappointed it was going to be singles, and I was kind of thinking, is this really got the spice for it? This would have been class for Dover and Icarus, might I also add. I think if they'd done this as a Käfigschlacht, that'd have been good. But I thought, it completely justified the gimmick, really, of the match. I thought it was really, really good. As I said, it felt it felt epic because it was so long.
I was a little concerned because of the anniversary show we did the, I guess, the warm, if you want to call it that.
Yeah,
And the crowd didn't seem particularly hot for it, but like here, main event, they more than delivered. To the point where I'm sat here wondering, hang on a second, Blanc won. He ain't in Carat. Phoenix got a spot in Carat, and Blanc, as we're recording, doesn't
he
even
is
have a
beaten.
bloody qualifier.
Well, not yet.
Like I say, we don't know what's going on in Bielefeld. He could be the 11th man that they announced, but without qualifiers. But by the end, I'm sitting here thinking, how the hell has he got a spot? Or how the hell's Fennec got a spot, but Blanc isn't even mooted for a qualifier at this point? It's like, yeah, I mean, I say, would you even call this like Igel's coming out party into WXW? At least certainly it's a singles act.
I think he's always sort of been a higher level, but this, it felt a bit of a not crowning, but it was I think this is the match that's kind of put him on the map. I think in the same way that there was um, the Maggot and Ahura stuff last year around the same sort of time. I felt that was quite similar in the sense of there was an iconic moment in this match, and the same as there was in the other in the ladder match. So I felt, it was really, really. It certainly does feel that way, and especially Blanc's had the run in Big Japan. Was it Big Japan, or did he all Japan? I think he did
All
all Japan.
Japan.
Or he did all
Yep.
Japan. He had that run in all Japan in the summer, and he's got, if he gets the bookings he should, then he's got all the for me, he's got all the tools to be a world class wrestler. I think not just a good for Europe. I think world class.
I mean,
He's got a great gimmick. He's got a great look. He looks like his body is fantastic. He's got a great move set. Like, it's kind of all the ingredients are there, and this feels like the real nice pin. That you can stick this match as the match to point towards now, I think.
I'm just looking at this cage match. He has done stuff in, I guess, Mexico. This is like 5 years ago now.
Yeah.
CMLL, this with Dick Riviera, also from the French scene. Just looking for names. Yeah. So he had a week in Mexico, so he's not entirely new, but yeah, it would not surprise me if he's all over WrestleMania weekend. And as I said to you during the week, I'm amazed nobody in England's even taken a look at him. Like, I know.
Yeah, even like the Preston
Yeah.
City or whatever it's called now. Like they the sort of people who might have gone for him. I feel like if Southside was still a thing, they probably would have gone for him.
So just
obviously, I
looking
think
at the cage match.
politically, there's obviously the political situation makes it more difficult, maybe, but I don't know. It seems bizarre he isn't coming over.
So just look at the cage match. Obviously, did the North WXW show last September. Before then, 2 matches. Well, one show in 2018 for FFW in Birmingham. So what's that? That's Full Force Wrestling, where he won a battle royal back under his anglicized name of White Eagle. So he has done, but it's literally been one show over here plus the WXW Co-Pro. I mean,
Ian, you know what Igla Blanc is French for?
I know. I'm not casting aspersions on Birmingham, but they obviously had to do a translation for a reason,
Yeah.
But I mean, I know Andy's not being great in terms of booking European names. I'm amazed he's not even had a look in for, say, they just announced Revolution Rumble in March, but bring him in even for Sheffield Stevenage swing or something like that. Like we did Sense of Ultra last year, but as keep an eye on Nigel Blanc because Joseph Fennick Jr.'s Sense of Ultra. He's had a bit of notoriety in Europe, through mostly Southside. I think there's a name you really need to keep an eye on. Not as this is a guy keep an eye on in 2-3 years. This is 2024. That Igel Blanc, unless there's a touch wood an injury, but there's a name that should be breaking out big time this year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%.
That was back to the roots anyway. Say we are back.
Worth a watch, I think.
Yeah, just under 3 hours, but worth every single second. And we've got that up now live, cleaned up, I guess, for production edit in English. So, no excuses. WXWnow.com. A few news bits. Of course, Sod's Law the day after we recorded last, and it's going to happen again here. They announced another match for Dead End, and it's the return of Oscar. He's teaming up with Yuta Nakashima's Youngblood against Amboss's Robert Dreisker Icarus. And that's Oscar's debut in Hamburg.
Didn't I say this would happen?
Yep.
Another one for my Mike is Right column.
It's growing. We've got a bunch more names for Carat Weekend. So we've got for the Wheel of Wrestling Wildcard Edition, Channing Thomas from Northeast scene in the States, and Liam Slayton. I know North's done Liam against Leon, which has been a bit of a tongue twister, but yeah, he's in for the Wheel of Wrestling Wildcard. Surprised he's not part of the Ambition tournament because he's kind of custom made for that. But instead, we have got names for Ambition. At least there's 8 names we haven't explicitly said these guys are in the tournament. But what we do have is, and I'm scrolling down for names, we've got Jay Joshua, who's been around like Attack. He's been WrestleCon, well, no, that's shutting down this weekend, but that kind of level promotions. Matt Mikowski debuting for America. The noise I made when I saw that announcement, that's a hell of a get for this tournament. Jaden Newman, he's back over. He was part of Carat last year. He's had a bit of a makeover in terms of his act since then, so he's not unless he goes back to the numero uno, number 1 stuff he had last year, be slightly different proposition there. Rootin' and Tootin' again, Thomas Shire's coming back after falling short in the finals. and I guess he's going to be the favourite for winning just based on that alone. And then early this week, they announced the other four names of Mochizuki Jr. from Dragon Gate. So he'd been announced, but not for Carat Tournament. So he's 21-year-old, and he's on excursion through British Kingdom Pro, the former 4FW. They've got. I didn't go to any of those shows, but they are really in tight for Dragon Gate lads. So that's Alan Farrell was really looking forward to how Mochizuki Jr. looks in Germany and how he interacts. Last three names: Luke Jacobs, Axel Tischer. Of course, they had the super fight last year, which dodgy hometown refereeing. We'll just leave it at that. And Patrick Cyborg rounding out the eight. Don't know if these are the names for the tournament or just the first eight announced, but if those are the eight for the tournament, it's a very tasty lineup.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was who said it, but like Cyborg versus Mochizuki Jr. is one of these bizarre matches that could only ever happen on this specific weekend, but kind of has to happen just because it's so bizarre.
That's going to be like an opening round thing.
Yeah. It's just one of these things. It just has to happen because it's such a strange. It's two ships passing in the night. There's no chance. There's the chance of it happening is so low that it's like it has to happen, doesn't it?
It'll be a pub quiz question like 10 years' time when Mochizuki's on top of Dragon Gate. Which former German mixed martial artist did he beat in? And everyone's going, German mixed martial? We've got that in Germany? And then those who listen to the show will go to Carat will know the answer. So
yeah, well, hopefully Cyborg is Ring of Honor champion by that point. So.
Well, hopefully he's not buried away in that show nobody watches. But anyway, so of course that's the names we've got so far. I mean, heck, may as well do a roll call because we're 6 weeks away from Carat, Mike. That's absolutely creeping up on us.
It is. It is really surprisingly close.
Book your flights. I know
I haven't booked my
flights. I know Inner Circle is sold out. So if you're looking at a nose, Toby's looking. I guess secondary market's the only choice for the moment now for that. Just looking through the tickets, so the festival passes, you can still get. Well, you can get plenty for the festival pass, but it's like rows 4 and 5. Same with like the standing pass for balconies. Individual shows, night 1 is standing room only. Same night 2, night 3 to be perfectly honest right now. The ancillary shows, plenty of standing or sitting rooms. So Inner Circle is probably the only one you are going to be having to fight to get hold of a ticket off the second-hand market. But in terms of names, of course, with 10 announced so far, we've got Oscar, Gringo Loco, El Hido del Dr. Wagner Jr., Paige Tahani, Senza Volto, Mike Loku, one called Manders, Leo Rush, Luke Jacobs, and Masato Tanaka, which those 10 names alone, and we've still got 6 to go.
Yeah, so obviously we've got the 2 qualifiers coming up. 5 qualifiers, haven't we? Plus another announcement, I suppose.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a great lineup, isn't it?
So and then we've got the Wheel of Wrestling. We've got we've counted 10 names so far. Avatar, Landon Hale, Rachel Armstrong, Ryan Clancy, Stephen Wolf, Travis Williams, Derek Neal, Sapphire Reed, Channing Thomas, and Liam Slater. So you've got 5 matches there, but you'd expect maybe another 3 or 4, depending on how they flesh that card out. But again, a lot of names you wouldn't normally see in Europe. I know Ryan Clancy's done some stuff with LDM, but a lot of names you wouldn't usually see in these kind of weekends. So, if like seemingly Felix does, puts a lot of time into that IWTV subscription, you're going to be seeing a lot of names from those shows on this wildcard edition. Notice maybe might bleed on. I mean, some previous years bleed on to say Tag Gauntlet or the other Wheel of Wrestling shows. So we'll see there, but. Of course, none of this for Shotgun Vlog. That's dropping after we record this, so your guess is as good as ours. Upcoming shows, February 9th, Market Hall in Hamburg. That's Dead End 2024. And as you mentioned, mate,
looking forward to this one.
Yeah, so I know there's been some, I would say, iffy Hamburg shows in the past, but crowds haven't been too great. This one I think is going to be blow away. We've got 4 matches on tap so far. a 2 Carat qualifier. So Leon Slater against Mike D. Yeah, I mean, we've seen what Mike D's like chucking people. I have a pretty good feeling Leon Slater's going to be finding a very quick way to the stage in the market hall.
It'd end up in a
Unfortunately,
bloody
it's going to be
train
from the
station.
wrestling ring.
You could end up through the bloody train station. Potentially.
Well, hopefully it's not. Oh, and this is horribly off topic. We went to November 2018, the Ilya and Absolute Andy unification one. It's like midnight, say late November's ice cold, and also it's just hope the station's better Nick than it was then, because me, Jen, and Gunny went to McDonald's, the only thing open afterwards, and some of the sites at McDonald's not fit for repeating. But yeah.
It's somewhere online. If you want to find it, you're quite welcome to. But there is actually a podcast that I partly recorded in Hamburg train station. If you want to find that and you know where you're looking, you might be able to find it. But yeah, I recorded a podcast after about 8 beers at the WXW show, in between that and the Progress show.
Oh God!
I recorded a podcast with me, Mort. Well, it wasn't really much of a podcast. I don't think any of us were in talking moods, but I was sort of wandering around with a recorder, and I think Mort doesn't say very much. Sarah Forel was obviously there. Gary was there. There was a few people there. I can't remember, but yeah, there is. If you know where you're looking, you might be able to find that. But it's a podcast you should never listen to because it's so bad. But I do enjoy it. I've got it somewhere on the computer.
I'm just looking back. So that was, it says the weekend they did with Progress.
Yeah,
that's the weekend where it was the Progress Hamburg show. Was just a massive middle finger to any kind of continuity in storylines, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the best Progress show of all time because you'll never be able to see it again. So yeah. Well, actually, no, you can find it on Billy. But it's not. It's not on Progress on Demand.
Oh yeah, because we slammed upload. I'm looking at the card now. Main event: Walter against Chris Brooks, which then turned into a 6-man tag, featuring Andy, Bobby Guns, and Maurice Alani on one side,
who were all feuding.
Mm-hmm. Chris Brooks, Walter, and you
David
can guess
Starr,
who were still feuding at the same.
Yeah, that was a disaster. That was an absolute disaster. But hey, it was fun. I'd never had fun like that show ever before or since. So, and I woke up. I woke up the following day at 7 a.m. to get my train to Oberhausen, and I woke up and I realised my hotel door was wide open.
Ooh.
And basically, what I did is I think I walked into the room and collapsed face down on my bed at the Ibis Hamburg station, and I thought I'd been robbed. I thought I'd been robbed at first, but no, thankfully I hadn't. Yeah,
so going back to 2024.
Yeah, this Mark Taylor show looks good, and I think you're right when you say that it's maybe not been the best. This last couple of shows have been a bit duffer, but I think the reputation of Hamburg sometimes does precede it. Yeah. I think I was lucky I saw it at Full Tilt, but I don't think it's an unreasonable thing to say. But WWE's kind of served up a kind of very unremarkable cards of Hamburg. But this card seems a lot better already than anything they've put up in the last probably 2 years, to be honest. So
we've got Leon Mike in qualifier, another Carat qualifier, Bobby Guns against Lawrence Roman. We said earlier about how Robert Dreisk's now effectively got 3 fronts to fight on. Got Peter Tahani, obviously Irie's front end, but obviously something's bubbling for Lawrence Roman. In fact, we've got 2 of those names potentially in Carat. Could be interesting there. Elsewhere, of course, we've got Peter Tahani against Igel Blanc. The aforementioned Amboss against Oscar and Nakashima tag match. So that'd be a very interesting one. Bear in mind, Oscar's WXW departure was hands of Robert Dreisker. So, and then the next night we've got the sold out Road 16 Carat Gold in Bielefeld. Again, as we're saying, they haven't got a card or anything close to it up yet. Pre-Carat spots on the lines will be mini tournament you'd expect. So we've got that. Then we have got February 24th at the Event Hall Airport in Over Travelling. It's a non-televised event. Right now we've got Axel Tischen and Leah Bloom's the only thing announced. 2nd of March, back in Bad Sacking at the Huber Arena. Joseph Fennick Jr. and Mike D is the only thing announced for that. And then Gelsenkirchen for Inner Circle 15 sold out, and Oberhausen and Verkauft. And yeah, this is creeping up way quicker than I wanted to, Mike.
Yeah, it's getting there. I think probably we've got the next episode, and the episode after that'd be the preview, wouldn't it? Effectively.
Yep.
Well, it's not WXW, but obviously, if you are around WXW weekend or of 16 Carat, Wrestling Cult is also on the Saturday morning. If you're a hardcore man like me, then you do everything. Go see Mott Van Kunda probably. There's some
I don't say
interesting
of the
people.
relics, but a lot of names from the past that.
Yeah, it's the sort of the dirty B side of 16 Carat, but it's good. It's good. You'll see people like familiar. So Mike D's on that show. You'll see people like Danny Frey. You'll see Nina Samuels. I think is defending against Amal Winchester, former WXW Women's Champion. I think there's lots of people on that show, and it's always a bit of a mixed bag. And invariably, it's not the best wrestling, but it's good fun. And I feel like if you're there for Carat, you got to do it all. And I know you've never done it, have you, Ian?
No, but I am very tempted to go.
1 year, I will get you there.
So much on the Wrestling Cult Facebook page, they have got a few more announcements.
Oh, have they? Okay. Well,
we've got Alpha Kevin, who I dare say looks a bit like Trent Seven these days, against Aaron Insane.
Yeah.
There's your 2015 WXW offer match. Okay, Griffin McCoy, who was over for the that CZW tour last summer. He's on here. I know he's back in Europe with Preston City Wrestling.
Yeah.
So that that's maybe shouldn't be so surprising. We've got Mike D in a handicap match against Marcus Plan B.
So it's Marcus Weiss, who's obviously the referee occasionally in WXW.
Yeah.
He kind of works a heel gimmick in Wrestling Cult, where he effectively was the champion, but he had Mike D. Basically, it was the Christian Cage Luchasaurus thing, but he was doing it before that.
Oh my God, does Tony Khan watch Wrestling Cult?
Well, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
But the graphic is Danny Frey, and I have no idea who the...
Not entirely sure.
I'm seeing is Marcus is a beautiful name, but it's another guy called Marcus, that's why. And then what else? Of course, we've got the announced Amal Nina Samuels. We're getting a lot there undercard, and that's what 9:30 doors, 10 a.m. bell time. So yeah, get up nice and early for that one. You know what?
Yeah.
This may be the
year I do awake anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's the...
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, so I'm saying it's you only can do a wild ride once, I guess.
No, I've been doing it every year since 2018.
Those were saying only do it once. I guess it might be my time, but got Dead End and then Bielefeld in 2 weeks' time, so probably back 3 weeks for the coverage of that, and then the preview before we all bugger off to Oberhausen or Düsseldorf Airport in March. But Mike, anything to plug? Because I know you're off to Merseyside this weekend.
No, yeah, well, nothing to plug, sort of in that sense. No, not at the minute. But you can follow me on and all the adventures I have on all of the social media channels. I'm Mike Kilby on everything, Instagram, Twitter, all of them. You can find me on there. And yeah, it's you can see what I get up to. I do things all the time. I tweet funny things sometimes. And I'm on this podcast. So,
you can follow me at Ian Wrestling on Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky Threads. I think I may use one of them at some point. At Big Bad Body. I get my teeth in, shall I? At Big Back Body Drop on Twitter. Back Body Drop on Instagram Threads. I think those are the ones be using these days. But Yep, that'll wrap it up. I'm off to put the rest of my teeth in Mike. Good luck for looting this weekend, and we'll see you down the line. Cheers.
Cheers.